I'm not ready. Not ready to go live. It's a funny word. Close and live. Two words, like for me. How do you spell close? C-L-O-S-E. Close. But I wear my clothes. No, I'm going to close. I'm telling you, I wear my clothes. So my voice, when I say close, I like to hear somebody else say it from around the world to see where it goes. Close, close. Time heaven. 336. So I know it's 12 moons. Close with TH, time heaven. The first time you enter into time heaven is when you reach fourth. Now the question is, how does it set up? Fourth sets up as 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it sets up, that's right, at the bowling alley, where you have a possibility of 12 X's. 12 X's. 240 and 48. 12 X's. 12 X's. 12 times 24 equals 240 plus 48 equals 288. Wow. That has not come up, and it came up twice. That is 2 times 144. So we have a 288 and a 144. And this is going to equal your 432. And that is the basic vibration of creation. That is the basic vibration creation. I always like to add 10 to everything. The 288th day is October 15, 1963. 7757. Why do I associate this? Because actually I can go all the way down to 13 if I want. Okay, 13 will take me to 19. I multiply it by 3 equaling to 57. So why can't I multiply 3 by 13 equaling to 39? 13, 13, 13. There are 13 cards in a suit. When you add up 1 over to 13, it equals to 91. The number to the spirit is 91. It takes 7 times 13 equals to 91. The mathematics remain at 7, but it's 7 and 3 and 7 and 4. DC. DC is a combination of the Eye of Horus and the hexagon, which is the 7th gate, or it is the star cube. Star cube divide. You take the two of them and you bring them together and you continue on to the second eye. Then you want on your 33 or your 8th over here. I don't know the whole thing. It's 2 triangles, but I don't remember the whole story. It's 808, like the bicycle cards. What else is inside of this? There is something else. I don't remember what it is, but we represent more of Earth and Mars, the way we can divide the points on these 2 levels. These 2 will represent Earth. This one represents I, that divides. It divides 2 sides. You see these two X's? You're saying bowling X's. It's this third one over here that creates your turkey. And then you move on to the next star. And then you move on to the next star. And if there was 3 to every star turkey, you now have why we celebrate Thanksgiving. The turkey. But it's not only turkey, it's sauce, okay? It is the throat of turkey as the passages through Syria. But it's not only turkey, it's turnkey. Key is 11-5. This will create the word key. I don't remember where it comes from. I do know that 2 and 5 is earth. I do know that this is creation of 1-5 Mars and 2-5 earth becomes Yo the student. It becomes Yo the student because the separation between 1 and 6, the average to go to 3.5 towards the center is 2.5. In 2 and 5, the average to reach the center of 3.5 is 1.5. This one is representing the separation of 1.5. One area is going to represent, I always call it Mercury, and the 2 areas are always going to represent Venus. They have no moons. Their moons are consistent with the satellite moons of Earth and the satellite moons of Mars. We're the student, the queen, okay, of 51, which is the heart, which is the E-world. Somebody is running that E-world, and it is the moon. You cannot forget it. It's told to us everywhere. Let me see that I should stay on track. The numeric value for moon is 57. See, if you can ask me the question, let me just adjust. You know, I'm a little bit in, I'm a little bit out. It's hard to stay in both realms and think at the same time and remember. You know, I zone out for a little bit and I just see it. A 63. Why 63? Because 7 times 7, 7 plus 7 equal to 14 and 49. Now I look at situations 4 and 9. Well, what happened? Okay, what happened is A, B, C is your basic of creation. We stand on this. 39 and 18 equal to 57. It is male, it is female. It is known as 12 as the bat, and it knows 13 as the bar. You can almost say the bar rat. The total is 25, which is a 7. 20 is the house of 107, which is the house of 25. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 plus 5 is 7. They create the G and the J. What happens, okay, and I have to understand the situation and the art, and I don't think I can accomplish all this myself because there's so many situations, but 1 is 7 and 1 is the 10th letter. The reverse is the 17th letter and the 20th letter. These two are points of the pyramid. In gematria, both of these become 77, and the life we live, I don't know which, if I want to use it over here. I don't know if I want to use this one. Okay, I want to use this one. Okay, we live between 77. 135, 531. So this is talking about a sun. Okay, and this one is talking about a sun. This one over here is going up to 13. Okay. And it goes down, it goes over to 13 and then 14. But I did something a little bit different over here. I got to understand it myself. When I came down here, I came down to 1 and 1. But when I went up with numbers, I kept my numbers rising. So I went 7, 9, 11, 13. Now I must shift over to the right. There is no point over here. because I'm not going to 15. But if I did go to 15, understand these 7 in pull, and the 15 ball, which would be the second peak and point, would be the same color to stripe to a solid, one that is above and in between 77, the matter of the gates, Christ, the spirit within between the seasons, in which if you see this design a little bit greater, you would be looking at something like this. So I have to understand the numbers in here. Know that 2, 4, 6, 8 are the ribs that connect 1, 3, 5, and 7. It is 55. There is 66, but there is 55. Know the numbers. Know what DC is. Know what DC is. Know what DC is. Know what DC is. Do you know what DC is? Does anybody heard the District of Columbia? DC. I don't even know where to start. I keep going over this and over this. And yeah, I'm going to get back to the Star of David, because the Star of David is also 6 with 1 center. The Star of David hexagon is actually the skeleton of, once you put the walls inside, it will create what is the cube right over here. As you can see, follow, we connect the X and Y chromosome between the first 18 and the second 18. What I showed you is I left open number 20, 20, 20, 20 on top, 60. The next connection is 80. So I got 60, 80. If I left this one open, okay, I'd have 34, I'd have 51 Mars, I'd have 68 the house. So I got the separation of the gate and the house, 17 and 20. How do I know these numbers? Go to the roulette wheel and follow. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 14. And in 14 we split. Over here, we go to, I think it's 18, 21, 19, and 16. And then you see the X over here, XY, XY, Y, X, XY, XY chromosomes. Number 49, 7 times 7. So they split it 7 times in the gateway. The gateway was split 7 times. And one of those times, to understand those 7 times for the 7 days of the week, and on one day they rest, probably for the machinery, of course. 7 strands on 7 days, and on one day they rest. And in 28 days of the moon, they had been working for 24 days and 4 days of rest. D and X, 28, the cycle of the moon. 24, the dividing gateway, and the year we come into next year, the C19 year, where we pass through into the new moon count. The illusion that has been put into the sky for things you would never believe if it wasn't for TV. What you watch on TV is the price and the reason why the richest people in the world are going broke. Because if I was to create a story, a TV story, I would say the devil needs money. And he needs lots of money. Oh yeah, the devil needs money. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why the devil needs money. It's just so simple. Because the devil don't need no money. But if the devil's got your money, he's got you under control. Because the devil's, got the book. Let me take a Schwab of that. Half and half roast. So you pay the devil sums of money for information on how to process. What is the vibration? What is that high vibration? What is that low vibration? What is the red pill? What is the blue pill? What happens when you mix colors of pills? Red and blue makes purple. Red is 3 and 11. Blue is 2 and 10. Purple is 4 and 12. 4 and 12. Boom, right away. I like that. 4 and 12. Mars in the E world. Because 12 is when 1 and 2 come together for the first time. They come together as 12. And what they create, don't forget, when they come together for the first time, they're creating with 1. When you create with 1, you're creating from the heart. You are the center. You are the core of everything of the heaven that is around you. 1 and 2 are the same thing. 2 is begazed. That is what 2 is. 2 is begazed. Why? Because the 2 is the B, okay? And it creates the 7th gate. It creates the number 7. There's a 7 gateway between 2 dots, 7 void. And in the artwork, it will create the numeric value of 8 inside the connecting dots. You must look at your face. Number 9. There are 5 9s and 1 9. Area 51 Mars. Why? Because there's always 1 9 sitting on its butt. This is a dice cube. When it's sitting on its butt, you can see around 36 and you can see 9 on top. 36 and 9. Now, that's the rabbit hole, the passage. It's the passage of the pole. It's 999 to go through the pole, because the top 9, the center 9, and the bottom 9. But I'm only going to look at this as 2 faces. I don't want to look at the dividing space, because the 3rd number is what divides the center of all. And depending on what the center of all of who you are, as like 1 opposite 6, all it tells me is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. I can look at it that way. I can also say, in order to get from 1 to 6, I need to add 5. That means there are 5 area spaces. No, there are 4 area spaces in between area spaces of 1 and 6. There is 2, 3, 4, and 5 to fill those spaces. So you know there's 2 on one side, 2 on the, is that right? 2 on the other side that fill the spaces. So you have to remove 2 of them in the center to have a happy median between the 2 sides. Anyways, I'm just going to show it to you mathematically. 1 plus 2.5 equals to 3.5. The opposite side is 6 minus 2.5 equals 3.5. Therefore, they will share the center of each side of the 0.5 and remain with 2 distance, 2 and 2. That also represents Eep. It also represents life. It is 1 more than what is 21. So it seems like blackjack is almost like saying, I'm trying to still understand. It is 12. It is blackjack is 10 times 2. It's 20 plus 12. It's 32. 23. 11, 11. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. Don't know what it is. 21. I know it's the cube. I know it's the cube, and it is the standard creation because it is on the 3rd level of 7. So it completes the pole 6 and 1, 7, and the ring 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 7 and 7, 14. The ring and the pole on a singular cube. So now you take out, you have another cube. You need absolutely another cube, and you have a leftover. Only until you reach the 4th cube, the numeric value for Pluto is 84. When you reach the 4th cube of 21 dots, that is equal to 84. So now the completion of 84 is 3 times 28. You see, I used 4 of the cubes, which created 3 of the cycles of moon, because the total cycles are 28. So it took more than a cube to create a cycle. In fact, the cube is only 3/4 of a cycle, again, representing DC, also representing 0.333, which is a representation of our cycle of Pluto, which is the 7 months of 31 days, the 4 months of 30 days, and the 1 month of Valentine's Day, because of the 2 cubes and the rings they go around, 14. 28, the cycle of Pluto, 1/3. And what is 333? When you divide 3 by 1, 4, or 7, the answer will be 3 divided by 1 is 0.33. 4 divided by 1 is 1.333. And 7 divided by 3 is 2.333. So you know that when it's that when is singular, when it is the pole of 7, that you know it is 1/3 of the 21 of the cube, 1/3 of what is of the void, which is 33. The void now becomes 11, 11, 11. As the cube becomes 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 7, 7, 7, the reverse in the void is 11, 11, 11, or 13, 31, 13, 31, 13, 57, 31, 13, 31, 75, 57, 75. 7 and 7 in between the 5s equals to 14. 1 and 4 is 5. You have 5, 5, 5. You multiply it. It becomes 1.25. 1.25 days over in the year, and the 1.25 over to the cycle of 1/4 moon, a cycle of 1/4 moon of 555, of 5775, which is the DC cycle of the moon, of the man on the moon gateway, on meaning the division in pi, 3 parts, the in-between, like a sandwich, like a prison, in between this side and that side. Number 3 and 4 has no area space. There's no area space on the cube between 3 and 4. It is the only one. It is the only one that when everybody's playing the slot machines. Why all the 7s? Because 7 times 7 times 7 creates C.D.C. Disconnect. Alternate current, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3, which is man. Where does number 13 come into be? On the 169th moon, 168 rotating around one area space. I get that because I have square paper. On this square paper, if you're playing Monopoly, the corners are twice the size as the regular places. Well, actually, it's a difference, but the minimum the corner has to be is twice the size in order to turn the corner. So by doing that, the band where you stand on go and all the way around takes up 2 area spaces high. The corners take 2 by 2 equaling to 4, and all the properties just take up 2. There's 9, 9, 9, and 9, 36 times 2, 72. Plus the 4 corners of 16 is 72, and 16 equals to 88. The 9 times 2 equals to 18, times 4 equals to 72, plus 16 equals to 88. The corners, Monopoly. Games, it doesn't matter. Baseball, hockey, football, soccer, dice, the game of pool. I just went through that piece with the game of pool, where the top and the bottom, you see, you get to the gateway, and then you continue on. And this is where the ace and M comes in. First of all, understand this. If I put a straight line across and I don't come down over here in the alphabet, I can remove this alphabet. I will continue on and make a reflection. In French, they have a word for this. Okay, let me look it up. And I'm going to ask the computer here. Yeah, can you give me the French accents? And what are the 5? So this is the, let me see if you can see it with me. Maybe I can just hold on a second. I'm going to copy this and hold on a second. Okay, I just shared it, I just shared it. Just 1 second. And I'm thirsty. I'm a little thirsty. Whoop, I just dropped something. Help save my apartment. We got to buy this building, man. We got to buy this building. They're trying to toss me out, They're trying to toss me out. Save this. Look at that. I put up an eye against an eye. I got the star system in the back. I didn't design any of this. This is when my eyes were closed. This is when I couldn't see. When I can see and I talk, that's when I can see, but I can't see. But I tell you what I see. Anyways, so I'm going to get a drink, but I want to just set your mind on this. That remember, this is like the Bank of Montreal sign, right? That if I create a straight line across to create one big A, the down part of here is my top part of what can be one side of the hexagon. Once I duplicate it here. Once I duplicate it, I end up with two houses here and one house over here, and then I have a house over here. At the end, I have to keep shifting, and houses become built. Okay, I have to continue this design. I only have the basis of it, and it's got to be understood. Yes, you can ask the question, well, how come I don't use 9 areas? You see, there's only 2 things. It's either 4 or 9, okay, and then they're rectangular. Now, rectangular breaks the angle of the 45-degree mark. So I have to know what that angle is. And I always want to work with this. I want to work by these squares, just these basic squares. Draw it this way or this way. Remember, it has to be simple, right? Everything I'm doing is just basic and simple. So you notice there's no 2, 4, 6, and 8, because 2, 4, 6, and 8 are the ribs that connect. Number 4 will connect number 3 and 5. Do you notice there's the roof and there's the basement, and then we have the middle floor. So we have 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. So number 4, what is number 4 going to do with number 3? Number 4 is going to connect to number 5. What is number 5? Well, it can be 9 and 5 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. It can be 9 and 5 equals to 14. It can be 8 and 6 equals to 14. It can be 7 and 7 equals to 14. 1 plus 4 equals to 5. 2 plus 3 equals to 5. So now we understand that family. That family will recreate something in its own. It will create 5 and 4 equaling to 20 and 9 equaling to the IT systematic in the Venus birth in the house of light. 20 equals to the house of light, which is Earth. The reason for that is because of that 0 over here. That 0 is going to represent 6 and 8, because 1 is inside of that, and the reverse is 6 dot and 3 creation. So you're already talking about man. Where do I get this? Here's a dice cube. Here's the number 1. All faces, right? You taught me this. You showed me in the last 20 years, 30 years. All I see is this. And then I see this. And then I see the 5 is the center position. But on this cube, the 1 is the center position. So I have to presume that the 1 is in the 5 position, although this is just a single dot. This is just a skeleton. This is a little bit bigger. It shows me that I'm chopped up over here. It shows me there's 4 area dots to 1 area. That area dot is 3467. 34 being DC. 34 created by Man on the Moon. JC 13. JC 13. Jack Creation. Jack God. Let me show you this one piece. I hope I can find it right here. When you go tonight and you say PM, it is the 16th letter and the 13th letter. It just so happens that 16 will create 13, and all in its own, it tells a story in its own. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6 equals to 13. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals to 3 and 4. This was made to be together. This will also be noted as the energy time, birth, freedom. And the reason for that is, first of all, the reverse is 11, creation, 1 and 1, if you go to Fibonacci. The reverse of this is 14, the sun. 1 and 6 is 7. 1 and 3 is 4. Number 47 is time. Number 74 is energy. Number 74 is the cross. Number 74 is Jesus. 7 times 4 is 28, the cycle of the moon. Where does that cycle come from? And what is a cycle? A cycle is when you can get an average. You need a minimum of 3 in order to stay in the number system. You need a minimum of 3 in order to stay in the number system, and that's 3 times 8 equals to the 24 hours, or 4 times 6 equaling to the 24 hours, and where 8 equals to 12 and where 6 equals to 9. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3. The 12 is 6 times 2, 6 plus 2. The reason for this, 6 times 2 is 12. 6 plus 2 is 8. It is the T point, 20, 5D. This is the queen, this is the god, this is the dog, this is the heaven. This one over here, okay, is the reversal of the QUBONIC world. Is the reversal of the QUBONIC world. 5 and 1, which is Mars, will reverse the 62, which is the queen, the god, the dog. So it reflects it also in the numbers, and it shows you the math. And this is 3/4 of this, and this is 2/3 of this. So it tells you the reversal of your cube, your 3 and your 4 inverts. The only way to get there is 180 degrees. If you're moving in order, 1 over to 2, 2 over to 3, but the only way to get the 4 is to flip it all the way over 180 degrees. And then you can go 5 and 6. Please note that 4 is not needed because it is already installed in 5 and 6. 1 is not needed. 1 is inside of 5, and 2 is inside of 5 twice. So therefore, the only differences in this, it is 1, 4 and 2, 4. 1, 4 is the ring, and 2, 4 is the gate. And next year, we are there. 5 and 6 is the invert of creation in the standard cycle of 12. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 will equal to 3 and 2. 3 times 2, 3 plus 2 will be in that third realm of 5 and 6, 11. So it creates this, and what is this number? This will create this. Well, this number is, first of all, is what encircles the 5. Where is number 3? Well, the average between 2, 4, which is the gateway between 1, 5, Mars. 2, 4 creates 6 and 8. Now we're in from the AE to the EI, and now we're in 6 and 8. But on this side, right, on this side, it's 3 and 4, right? On this side, it's 6 and 8. So this is the DC world. This is AC and DC. AC and DC, or this is the below. And do you see 3, 4? This is just 2 times that. It's the divided gates of EI, EIO, because I need to use more than one calculator. I got to keep putting these next to each other in order to do this. Now, sometimes I think of overlapping. I'll just overlap 369 over 369. But the reality is, these 2 sections sewed up together equals to this section over here. This is your main cycle. Everything runs by this cycle over here, okay? You have to note that the ring on this, okay, equals to 20. If you want to count inside, I can. It equals to 40. So the ring equals to 40 on this, and the pole equals to 5. So it's 40 and 5. That's on that. But when I calculate it on here, okay, that's the 9, and this is the 6. When I calculate it on the 6, okay, hold on a second. Let me mark that down. So Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 1, 3, 7, 9 equals to 20. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8 equals to 20. So when we're going around, right? If we went around, well, how many times would we go around? The rotation would be what? We'd have to move, although we're sitting like this, my next rotation of this, I'm trying to understand how the whole thing can rotate. If I can do it, right? If I can do it on paper, right? Simply, everything's got to be done simply. If I can put together formation and understand what's going on in numbers, then we can relate this to whatever is needed related. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to go 7, 4, 1, 8, 5. No, it's 7, 4, 1, 8, 5, 2, 9, 6, 3. And then we do it again. And it's going to be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the next one's going to be 3, 6, 9, 2, 5, 8, 1, 4, 7. 2, 5, 8, 1, 4, 7. And then, right. And after that, it comes back to this one. So when I'm turning the cube around this, or if I'm turning around this, what's happening in my full cycle, okay, is it's going to be 2020 times 4 equals to 80. The French expression say this. So it's going to be 80. It's going to be 80, okay, and 80. It's going to be 80 and 80. So now I got to figure out what the standard cycle is. If the regular cycle is 80, then the standard cycle would be 60. 3 times and 4 times, because as it stands, it's like standing still. I can't even explain it. We have 4. It starts here, right? I'm just trying to think, because it starts over on the next one. Wouldn't that make it the 5th one? See, the 5th one starts over. It starts here, 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 and here. This goes complete cycle. This goes complete cycle. This goes complete cycle. This goes complete cycle. But until you repeat these 2 cycles, okay, you haven't gone anywhere, because the beginning is beginning with 1 and 2, completing 2 cycles. This becomes your average up to here. So this is your basic cycle. Then these 2 become the average of what this is here, and the intern average. And this is a description of what shows up when, I don't want to really do it like that. When Mars shows up, Heinz shows up. 57 and 51, the moon of Mars. Male and female. 13 and 12 equals to 25. This will become 7, and this will become 5. This will become D.C, and this will become E. This will become EBC, BCE. This will become BCE. This will be DC Gov. This will be DC Gov. Just to note that it is number 1 that equals to 34. It is number 6 that equals to 52. From 1 and 6, you have created both DC and Earth. So where does DC come from? Where does the moon come from? This one is a part of Neo-Anderson. This is part of pi, things that were divided. You can only divide by a maximum. If I had to divide number 3 and 4, right? The division between 3 and 4 has to be, I would say, like this. This has to be the division. It's like an ice block division. And hold on a second. I'm going to explain that. I'm going to try to see if my analysis is my mind is okay. And the reason for that is there's only one number in between. What are the numbers in between? Because 1 and 6, the whole cube is equal. So that it has to mean the size of lockers or passageways or the size of something on the way. Trema. We will ever be it Sister 19, laugh out loud, Nile, Nelly, it's going around the cobbler bin, civil standards, SS. So what happens is, in order to get from the 3 face over to the 4 face, you can only go 0.5 and 0.5 and join. But in 0.5 and 0.5 join, they're joining on a fine line of a half area. They have to stop at 4, and they have to stop at 4. That 5th line has to be shared between both worlds, and they call this the sun pass and area space. 25 and 44 equaling to 69, created by 33, which is 6, 9, 52, Q42 gate. This is the gate where 10 passes. When 10 passes, 19, 28, 37, 46. That's how you create 10. You create 10, you see it over here. This is the formation. At the end times, they will give you the information, and we've always had it, but this is in skeleton form. In between 1 and 5 and 2 and 4, the illusion, but the reality that there would be a 3, and number 3 would connect them all. If I had to connect all these numbers, the center point in the star voided area over here, 2 blank 6, 3 blank 5, the mathematics is 4, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6. Walking and hopping. In between here and here is 5, 7, 9, and 6, 7, 8. In between here and here is 5, 6, 7, and 4, 6, 5, 6, 7, 4, 6, 8. And here is 5, 7, 9, and 6, 8, 7. So 76 at the top and 34 at the bottom. This, if it was in kilometers, okay, it'd be 2,160 miles, or the same diameter of the moon. 9, 11, 34, 7, and 13. The Mayan cycle runs 7, 6, 7 and 6, 13, 7 and 6, and 7. 7, 6, 7, the Mayan cycle. And that is the same thing as running up over to 7 and 6. Right here at the top, it's telling you number 19. 8I. What does 8I do? I divides A, just like that. Just like that. Now you have a D house and a D house. You have 2 C houses and 2 D houses. So you have 2 D's equals 4 is 8, and 2 C's equals to 6. But you know something about D and C? You want to know something about D and C? You see, here's D and here's C. So what do you see? You see D and C. Yeah, it's the 4th letter. It is the 23rd letter reverse. It is the 3rd letter. Is it the 24th letter reversed? Okay. So this one will create 47. This is the gateway of time. DC, gate of energy, gateway to the cycle of Pluto, gateway to Yoelev. 7 and 4 is 11. In between this is 5 and 6. That is the student of Mars, screamed out in a game of craps where they use the QUBONICs, the cubes. DC. I just lost my trend of thought. Just give me a second to gain my trend of thought. DC, DC, DC. There's more to it. Yes, yes, yes. Know that 500 and 100 is 600. That is DC. And DC, okay, as 600, what does this mean? For me, it's 607. It is also, what is the reverse of this reality? What is the inverse of this reality? So I question myself, how do I invert that reality? And where does this come from? It comes from the Romans. The Romans. We're not going to count this one right now, okay? Because that's part of AI. And this is part of the moon. This is part of the rotation in the moon. And this is the cycle of the moon. And it comes from 84 Pluto, the ring, and the pole. The ring, there are 4 equals to 12. The pole, okay, there is 2 equaling to that, dividing of the day between AM and PM. What do I mean? There are 2 faces for the pole, but there are 4 faces for the ring. In the 4 faces, a face value is 9. It's not really 9, it's a part 9, because the reality is, when you're counting to measurement, you're going to use this for measurement. You don't need anything else. 4 is the only one you get to measurement. Like checking out your TV, you know what I'm saying? This is, I put it up there before, the aigu accent placed above an E vowel, and it changes the sound to an A. Then there's the grave accent, which is the accent grave. It's a sedilia, and the circumflex. So all of these are explaining. I mean, God gave us everything, you know, gave us the skeleton. We just have to build some formation from it. It's when we come together and we accept the truth that the word has finally come. 18-wheelers, Venus, Mother Planet has come. We all know now, we're waking up. The truth has been over us. Our water, our skies, our food. You have to have a permit to have a seed. Nothing is free anymore, not even free thought. What to do and where to go. In fact, you're not in control of any part of inflation, and everything is owned by the giants and strict restrictions wherever you go. You are watched and tamed and punished in every single business I have seen. There are few retails left over for the scene that you can work for, so therefore you are going to work under mutiny. The pirates have showed up. We live inside the dome. If anybody is going to tell the truth, it will be the game that has been created for us. The games we watch, the hockey game. Take note of the color commentary. There are 3 periods. There are 2 goaltenders. There are 5 other players on each team on the ice, 5-1 and 5-1, 15-51, 33 rotation of mass in area space 44 under the guise of PLUTO, area space and time equaling to the spirit of time. 1 through 13 added equals to 91. In 3 suits, it's 273. It is creation of the begatest. I'm very thirsty. I'm going to have something to drink. I'm going to be back in a minute. I'm also losing my trend of thought. So I'm taking like, give me a 2 or 3 minute break. It's been close to an hour. Let's say 3 minutes. It's 9:46 to 9:49. I'm going to put something up here. There's artwork for everything. Everything I talk about comes from a game. It could be a hockey game where there's 3 periods of 20 minutes. 20 can represent the dartboard, where there's a center, which is a red dot, which is the complete center, knowing that 50 takes up all 4 sides, that a 50 should take up all 4 sides. The actual value would be 1.25, which is Earth, Mars. If it was divided by 3, the dartboard, then there would be a partial leftover. So the answer would not be the same. So we now have to understand we're going to divide it by 4. 4 times 90 degrees, because the base value of going around once is 360 degrees. Although in our time, there are 1440 minutes, which equals to 4 times 360, or 8,640 seconds, which I don't remember what that value is, but I really wish I had a calculator. And it also ties in to the 25,920 years of the Mayan cycle, where every single number up to Jesus Christ enters into the Mayan cycle, to where the Mayan cycle of 25,920, if you take the 2 and 5, which is Earth, and just put it together is 7. 7920 is the diameter of Earth, which is made up of, if I remember correctly, 5.5 times 1440 equals to 7920. The moon in difference, which is 2160, is 1.5 times. So what they're telling me, once they use 5.5, I know right away it's in between DC, because the separation in the QUBONIC only between 3 and 4 is 5 and 5. They both have the largest area space open equal to each other, which is 0.5 on each side. They can't go any further than that. They have the largest space. 5 is the largest space. When you go from 1 to 6, those are small corridors. It's how can I explain it? You have 2.5 sections, because you can count 1 to 2 to 3 to 3.5. Since you have to meet at 3.5, may as well count by halves. Got to be fair. So now you have different sections as you're counting by halves. That's why I say between 3 and 4, there's only 1 separation. So it's the largest of all the gaps inside of DC. Since you have 2 cubes, 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 6 and 8, and the expression in the game of craps, okay, to the 7th gate is going to be, I'm just trying to see, if you have 8, 6 and 2, the queen, you will have 5 and 1 Mars. Mars on one side, the queen on the other side. So we go to 6 over here, right? 4 and 2, 6, which is the gateway. It is the gateway of electric company. Where does all the money go? Where does all the money go? Who gets all the money? You know, I'm hearing these crazy stories, like it's like from a movie, right? From a movie, okay? Just imagine this crazy number, $150 trillion disappeared. $150 trillion disappeared. Where'd it go? Well, in order to, according to, what was it, Pinky and the Brain? I think it was a movie, Pinky and the Brain. He said, in order to control the people, you have to control their money. So if we were able to give information for people to be able to know things in advance, okay, so to create situations, okay, what would the price be for that? And why would the devil need the money? Because it's so much fun to burn somebody else's money when you don't need nothing. Given this world to just watch the people suffer because of all the wrong choices we make. And we can't figure out how to smile anymore. And why is that? because we gave up our freedoms and rights. The food we eat, the water we drink, the seeding of the skies. We believe the stories we hear. We never hear any debate. We don't do any of our research because our schooling, and according to the books that have been burned, we are like, I don't know, but I'm going to skip over that. I'm not here for that. I just want to say that we are into the 62nd year of the 60s. When we enter into the 63rd year, which is 50 and 13, 50 and 13, in the 63rd year, we will reflect creation. And that reflection year is 1963, which is the spirit and the cube. It is 66 inverted to the 7th gate of T minus counting. The 20th letter, 5D, into the 5th house. 1921 in standard cycle equals 5763. I have to use another number. I think I wanted to try and create 5724. Wanted to create 5724. Yes. 5724. I'm just thinking. 5724. Okay. Okay. So this is really for me. I do a lot of these videos really for myself, and I lose myself sometimes. But 5724 was 1963, and in 5724, which is also the gateway on the Hebrew calendar, did somehow we shift calendars, and now the next gateway it's going to show up is in 2024, but it is 6 times 12 is 72. 7 times 12 is 84. So the year we are in is at the gateway. 7 times 12 is 84. 70 and 14, which is at the sun gate, the sun pass. 17 and 14, 84 is also a Pluto cycle. It is the cycle of creation. The 84th day of the year is the ending of the second cube, is the ending of the 4th cube. On Valentine's Day, okay, on Valentine's Day, that will be the 45th day of the year, and it is the completion of the base of the cube. The reason for that is, although a cube is a total of 54, when it sits down, there will only be 45 up. 45 is a value for the birth of the fox pass. I don't know what it means in football, but I do know when they use the wording in football, and I think it was Peyton and PM, when PM comes up, so does the moon, Peyton Manning, and he was calling it out. They were calling out the moon. All that, what year was that in? What year was he screaming it? He was screaming to the moon. And remember, 77 times 75 is that gateway into the singularity moon. Remember, Mars has 2 moons, Earth has 1 moon. Know that 1 and 2 is gone. Throw it out. It's been moved over. 1 goes in 3, and 3 goes in 5, and 3 and 2 go together to create 5. 1 and 4 go together to create 5. Different pieces of the puzzle. When 3 and 2 go together, we need to do this with number 3 in order to get over the center, just like the Olympic golds. We know the gold is higher than everything else. And what's funny about the gold being higher is the numeric value for gold is 38. In French, it's number 33. It's the O and the R, which is number 18, which is the Venus angel, which is the spirit. The reason for that is because the R letter, okay, has an AR sound. It is in the A family. Add 1 equals to S. Minus 1 because the sound of the A is before the R. And according to Roman numerals, when a sound or something of less of a value comes before another one, which is actually A and H or J and H, where what you hear as October being the octagon in the 10 month is J and H's. J is 10 and H is 8. And why did I say that? The 10 and the 8, yes, for the 18th letter R in the A family. When you minus it, it becomes Q. And Q is what creates the gateway, which is created from Earth's heart in what they call Jack, 10 and 1, which is the delta angle. When I comes inside of A, which is obviously not A, but it's DC according to a design. And now I go ahead, okay, and I put the I, or if I want, I can put the T inside of it. So now I created a pyramid, the delta angle. But what I had here was a C. What I also had here, okay, is a D. I have DC. And what I put in DC is I. And part of I is a question of which H do I have? Because once you put in the I, you have the H. You have inside the I with the stripes, and then you have outside, which also looks like now C and C. And then you have what looks like the bait letter in the Hebrew. So the ring, okay, has a value around the 14. So the ring has a value of 14. The pole has a value of 7. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4. So these are the two things that are going on. One is going on this way, one is going on this way, and then it's going on this way. This is the moon, the rotation of the male and the female, the yin and the yang. This is energy. It is a cycle in Pluto, and it is the student of creation. 28 and 11 equals to 39. It is the 10 angel. It is the creation of I. AH, 1 and 8, or all the 9s that are in the book. Here is your cycle. So when you have 3 cycles, 84, you have created what is the ring? 48. What is the pole? 48. And the mathematics? (44) equals to 16, and 08 equals to 24, which also runs by 3 parts. In where you can look at, I'm going to look at this 2 ways, is 2 parts of 8 and 8 equaling to the day, equaling to 16, and 8 equaling to the night. So when you have that, you have 3, 3, 3, and then you have 6, 6, 6. So then the 6, 6, 6 is going to go with number 14, and the 3, 3, 3 is going to go with number 7. And the reason for that is because I have 3 parts. Now, if I want to break this up and go 4 times 2 and 8 times 2, 4 and 8. Well, the 4 and 8 I don't need to do because I already have it here. So is there any other way to create this? Well, here it's 4 times 4 and 2 times 4. Well, 2 times 4 will create the 7th gate. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. It's already noted on this dice cube that that's what creates the gateway. And DC is also noted as this. This is part of DC, 6251. It is the Mars queen. And the reason for this is because the inverted cube of 6 is 8. The 6, F-O-X, and this is Fox headquarters. That's what it says, Fox headquarters. The passage is Fox headquarters. This is 666. This is 888. The ring is in Fox headquarters. Agent 86, Fox headquarters. What the hell is going on with this? This is funny. I've never seen this before. I did this so many times. This is and don't forget, I'm doing this in basic. This is very, very basic what I'm doing. Very basic, because I want to get these guys here. I'm trying to get a hold of these guys. I sent them a letter once. Just give me a second. Do you see this? It's called the Germinator. And I wanna, sometimes I remember exactly what I want to do with it, but I wanted to be able to do more of my work. I have equations that there's just so many equations. I can't, I can remember everything. So when I'm going to come back and show you Fox headquarters, I'm going to explain to you the house planet, and remember landline, land. Think of computers, think of electricity, think of how did we get here? Billions of years. Can you look back what we learned? Yeah, can you look back at the last 100 years and believe that our learning is like they already had the electric car in 1914? Do you know that hemp? Look up hemp and see if you can create anything to do with energy, like I don't know, lithium. Everything is about patents and owning something. What does one deserve when they created first that somebody should steal their idea? How should it really work? What is really fair? This is my goal. I painted a chair of judgment, but who is it of me to judge other than me sharing with you the information of the skeleton alphabet? And within, we will understand how to choose rationally and logically and understand, because there are certain things in life a lot of people don't understand. Why one has the choice to do certain things that someone else is completely against, but yet doesn't harm anybody but the mental anguish within one's mind. I'm not finished doing the research, but I'm looking for the research of a number. I found one already. Okay, found many numbers, but I'm discussing within myself that where are we before we are born, and at what point are we fully receptive that we're actually here, and where are we if we are not, and if we're not anywhere else, then there was no other life, and this is the first time, if that's what you believe. But I believe we came from somewhere else. Avatar. And we're born into these bodies. But we're not here on the day we are born. The soul knows, and you know in your soul, the one that the births of, and all those surround you, and all the eyes and things you will have to live with for the rest of your life knowing. And you have a choice. Before the day arrives, and at a certain point, that it doesn't disturb you here with reason. In a standard death cycle, it takes 120 days. So nothing can pass 120 days. Knowing to be in the highest birth of creation comes on the 98th day. So therefore, nothing should pass 98 days. To know that 6996 is the rotation, that nothing should pass 96 days. Knowing that birth is 90 to 96, nothing should pass 90 days. Knowing that the rotation in the high birth is as 98, is as 89, nothing shall pass 89 days. Knowing that on the 88th day is the seventh gate, nothing shall pass 88 days. Knowing that 87 is the gateway and 86 is the divided gate of the house, nothing shall pass 86 days. Knowing that the blue planet of creation of the passage of the moon is on the 85th day, knowing that Pluto is on the 84th day, knowing that the only way in is on the 38th day, the gold, the pliable, that the 28th day or 82nd day is the cycle, that 81 is Venus, that the seventh gate of the ninth month should not be on the 79th day, that on the 78th day is the gateway, adding 1 through 12. Adding 1 through 11 equals to 66, you have reached the gateway, and that is the last time. And at the 66th day, there is 0 feeling towards yourself, towards your heart, towards your spirit. But it is after the 66th day, when it touches the gateway of the seventh gate, then you will know. I have to get a drink of water. I'm going to come back and see if I can see where I want to go with the next piece. I just drifted a little bit. I'm going to leave you with some. We're going to take a 3-minute break. It's an hour and 12 minutes. Take a look at that. I don't know what it is. It showed up on my head. I'm going to show you some back in another world. They replicate you onto digital before they send you out. Okay, before they send a transmission out. See the way V and V for life? The X creates the two lives, the old life and the new life. VV, double V equals to 44. And all the ways to get the 44. You know, the funny thing about numbers is, like if you tell me 147, okay, I'm going to say, what's the furthest I can write for 147? And that would be 99 and 48. 99 and 48. And what's funny about 147 is that it's on the left side of your calculator, 1, 4, and 7. It is our cycle of Pluto. It is 7 times 1, the 7 days, times 4 by 7, which completes the 28-day cycle, and 4 times 1 equals to the 4 weeks of the 7 days of the 7-day cycle that completes the 28-day cycle, and 7 months of 31 days, and 4 months of 30 days, and 1 month of 28 days, which is Valentine's Day, which is Valentine's 102, or the 45th day of the month in the second month, which is the ring around the cube, number 14. And it is the cube sitting flat like this, 45. But don't kid yourself, this cube doesn't really have 5 on each side, or versus 7. The actual maximum around this cube is 20, because if I drilled a hole around this cube, I would get only 20 holes. But if I did it with the 6 and the 1, I would get 14 holes. So it'd be 20 and 14 equals to T and N. Teen. T and N. Teen. That's what you would get. Now, I don't remember why I said it. Yes, because you'd have 5, 10, 5, 10, 20 around, and 7 and 7, 14. 20 and 14, so the letters are T and N, or 5G. And one of the things about 5G is that in order to create 5, you need the sun. You need the sun, and you need the cat. So that cat is the black cat, and that's the energy to do that. Now that will create your high sky. That's number 98 and 21. And that high sky is your moon, which is the ring and the pole, which runs on this QUBONICS over here. Somehow the poles are melting right now because the strength, I'm not sure what's going on with these, are now running out, and it's causing too much power loss or whatever it is in the poles, causing too much heat, and they're melting, or we're causing the heat through this Bitcoin mining and altering electric. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. I'm really thirsty. I can't think when I need to take a break. Let me just put maybe this up on the board. Take a look at this. Tell me what you think. It's 3, 6, and 9. If I would put all the colors on top of each other, you know, if I would put all the colors on top of each other, what can you see? Just one color? Or would you if I would know, would you prefer to see this? Oh, hold on a second. Or would you prefer to see, here's your Mayan counting. This is where 9 and 7 and 4 come in. The Mayans, remember the Mayans, how it works. What is 13? The combination of 13. Let's say the letter M, right? The letter M is the 13th letter. Well, I'll take the letter I with the letter D. And I and D, ID will create the letter M for 13. So your ID is now on the moon. So you want to create 13 again. You can't use C unless you use C, A, and I, ACI. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. There's connections in the letters that connect. These are the obligations in connecting 1 and 9 together for 10, 2 and 8 together for 10, 3 and 7. So it creates a circuitry. Now I want to create 2 and 5 for 7, 1 and 6 for 7, 3 and 4 for 7. So you see that DC is going to connect all the other circuitries through DC. Now, if I would have put DC first, right, nothing would interfere with it. So if I put DC first, I would do this. So nothing would interfere, but it would be the core of all the rest. Now it becomes the connection to all the rest. And on this side, okay, they interface right over here. So CD, okay, well, you see what it does. You see the connections between these three? C has a connection between A and B, and D has a connection between A, B, C, in which the inverted of what D is F, and F comes into D right over here. Anyways, yes, I definitely have to go get something to drink. I have to take a break. Okay, take a look at this. Tell me what you think. There are 1, 2, 3. There's 144 numbers there. Got to make sure that fridge is closed. Okay, coming back. Okay, just give me a second here. Just have to look at something. Oh, that's all I seen. Nothing here. I have to check if I got any messages. Just give me a second. No, I'm good. One sec. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you what this is. This is the roulette board. And I'm not sure if you can see my mouse. I'm hoping you can. And this over here, this square is 2468. This square is 2468. This square is 2468. And this square is 2468. Even though I count 36, what happens to a Pythagorean count, which means counting to a single digit, okay, what happens is number 14, 1 plus 4 equals to 5. When y, zy come in right over here, y, it splits this area over here. This area over here, okay, you see where man is suspended between two areas? These areas, okay, is coming up to the suspension, right? That's holding it up right over here, okay, is in between two houses of 72 and 72, 144. It is suspended between 144, 144. Where do I see 144? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm telling you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 144. But we see different lines in different areas because there's the in-between space, just a fine line in between an area. Okay, each one of these, and when I created this, I used, according to what I see, each one of these areas has 4 blocks in it. So this entire design, okay, this entire design, I don't know. I don't remember. I wish I could remember. Can you show me something, Robin? So this would be 4 times 144.0 equals to 5760, which is a basic hanging rotation. This, in turn, is metric time to the year 2000. It as well in the 3-part cycle of 4320 years is the 1440 times 3 equals C of the D's cycle house. Okay, just 1 second. Where am I? Am I live here somewhere? Too funny. Okay. Okay. I have to see where I'm going next. First of all, the last thing I spoke about a few minutes ago was Fox headquarters. And you do know that the O and the X are significant to hugs and kisses. Hug, kiss, hug, kiss. Do you remember the way KISS put their letters, like, you know what I'm saying? KI is 9/11. KI 9/11. So KI is 9/11/55. So sky pass, warm, the mix between red and blue, male and female, hot and cold. Usually you're going to put a little bit more, at least twice the hot as cold. So if you put twice the hot as cold, it's also to be equivalent that 2/3 of the day is the day and 1/3 of the day is the night. 1/3 of the day is the night. So the night is the passing of the pole. The day, 2/3. We have to understand that. The night is the passing of the pole. The day is the ring. The ring and the pole. What does it have to do with it? I have to maybe reshape these dice. And remember, it's 3 and 3 that create everything. So it's really talking about number 8, because 3 times 8 creates a 24. So if it's talking about 8, it's also talking about 3, because a 3 number. So it'd be 3 times 120 for 360. That's how we can understand the 24. We also understand the 24 by the mathematics that 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 equals 6 and 8. Half of that is 34 or 43. That is where 34 and 43 come in. That's where the gateway is. So it's telling me the gateway is between between Neptune and Saturn. Between Neptune and Saturn. Six and eight. See, between 6 and 8 is the 7th gate. When you look at your calculator, I can't think. You're snorting? What are you snorting? You're blinking at me. You know what's going on? Do you think we were made on the same day? Have you ever looked at the name and? Yeah, the letters are DNA. Look again. DNA is 14, which is birth in the sun. N, that's where the N is, 14. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4. DNA. Going around the bases. First, you start at home, go to first, go to second, go to third, come back home again. So that's really 4 areas, right? But you have 5. It's 4, but there were 5 because you left from home and you came back home. So what is it to leave home and come back home? It's 5. Now you got a point. 5 gets you a point. Mars, come back home. I'm trying to think of the equation. What was that equation again? What was the word? Should I go back to Fox headquarters? The reason for 6 and 8, and it's ironic, okay, that the payout for 6 and 8 is 7, whatever, for 6. That's what it is at the casinos. 7 to 6. That's what they pay out. 7 for 6. I'm not looking at European. I don't know those, but I remember. They paid 7 to 6, which is created through number 16, which creates number 13. Now, what creates 16? Can we say the 2 heavens, 8 and 8, came together? Should we start by the highest number? Because the countdown is usually T minus, right? T minus 10. When they're saying T minus 10, in all actuality, if that's what they're actually saying, They're either saying what it is, the T dividing A, because it's really not, nobody really knows if it's the I or the T, because the I and the T, it's just so funny what they do. You see that if I just drew a straight line, you would think it's a T. If I don't make that mark on the bottom, that would be a T. But if I drew this line, just this line over here, you would look at it as a different area, as the I. But anyways, regardless to the what's it called, this would be the at sign. This is be the at sign. Something to do with the okay, where am I? This equals to 42, and this equals, okay, believe it or not, to 36. I'm going to recalculate this. This equals to, I want to do this. This equals to 33, and this equals to 36. This is rotation. Rotation in the sun, the ring and the pole in Pluto, the cycle of 28, the division between night and day. The reason for that is first, we get that number. Multiply it and add it, it will then equal to 32 and 12, equals to 44. Multiply and add it, equals to 16 and 8, 24. Multiply and add it, it equals to 16, it equals to 6 and 8, 14. It equals to the day in the ring of the division between night and day. Add them, they will equal to 5 and 4, and then 20 and 9. TI, your birth, IT. I goes with R, T goes with B, K, and T, 2, 2, and 2. Times 8, 1776. Times 8, 144. Did I get that right? Yes. Because here, K is 11, 1 and 1 is 2. So I just look at 2, 2, 2. In this one, it's 99. 99 represents the word. It also represents in its math what is 81 Venus. And right away with the multiplication, it means it split the core. It created 4 area spaces, 2.5 out of an area value of 35. It's hard to exactly explain. I have to re-explain that. When you create an X, it creates in a one area, breaking it up into 4. Concerning or thinking that one area is a full value, I give it a value of 10. A, B, C, D, 4 corners, adding up together, 1, 2, 3, 4, equals to 10, making it 2.5. That is the value for the numeric of the word Jack, the word earth, and the word heart. It will then create 10 and 7 equal to 17, Q, J, and G. Use any 2 that you want. This is the reverse. The value of this comes into the H heaven, the gateway of the one spirit of heaven. Why it is the one spirit of heaven is because the area right over here of the surrounding areas, this is all of everything of 8. This 1 in the center. The value are going around it is 40. 40 and 5, the 5 area. The value of Jupiter is also 99. You add them, 9 plus 9 equals to 18 and 81, and that is Venus. And you can say this is an 18-wheeler. You can call it 666, which is And you can call it, well, if you want to call it 666, right, that'll equal to 216. And 666 equals to 18. And that would be 234. And that would basically be your vibration. I'm just trying to think 80, 80, 80. 70, 70, 70, 80, 80, 80 is 240. Take away, is it 78, 78, 78? Don't try it. 78, 78, 78 to 234. So that is the gateway. That is the next step to this gateway. Because 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 equals to 7 and 8. This is going to be always continue saying 15 and 17 are going to come together. The reason for that is 7 plus 8 equals to 15. And then 7 times 8 equals to 56. So the total is going to always be 71, always at the gateway between A and G. So A is running through G. G is not that A replaces, but it runs to G. How can I follow you with that? A starts over here, right? But what happens is once you go up the ladder and into the house, A is now over here and over here. And G is over here and over here. And A runs all the way to 13. And when A runs over to 13, the total is 91. The total of the 4 suits of 91 is 364, or 13 times 7 equals to 91 times 4 equals to 364 moons, or 13 by 28 day, 364. The 28 of man. M, M, A, N. M, A, N. N is only on one side, but here is where M and N is. Here is where your A is. Your M and N come together, your reverse alphabet of the gate and the sun. 4, the delta angle. This delta angle is what splits everything up. Here is one side. And if you take a look at it, right, it's actually the letter Y. Can I just do that? It's the letter Y and Y coming together. But the illusion can also be D and C coming together, creating the one part of what can be either the hexagon or the octagon or the pentagram. I mean, you can do this, and you can do this, and then you can just put arms on it, right, and do that and create a ring. But at the same time, you took the hexagon and turned it into a octagon and a square. And you also created the diamonds. And in doing so, you are also creating, hold on a second, I'm just trying to see if I can do this. You see this? Hold on, I'm thinking. Yes, this. That. See, there's a minus sign. I never make a minus sign. This design, hexagon, gives me a chance to do a minus sign. Have done minus signs before for other reasons. My other reason for doing a minus is when I put let's say two diamonds on top of each other, right? There's going to be a minus right here in between. So that's going to show me my passage between the two over here, creating my square on the side. And then they all get numbers, right? This is Yo-11, representing of Earth and Mars. This is the standard cycle in creation. This is where DC comes in. DC 777777 343 321, which is the cube, it is U. 364, it is C, it is C, it is D, it is C. This here, okay, will create 19 and 19, it'll be C19. Why is it going to be C? Because it's a standard cycle. First, what we had is we had 16. And then from 16, we had 13. And then from 13, we had 3 and 4 as 7. And then we had 3 times 4 equal to 12 plus the 7. And that equals to the 19. But when you multiply it by 12, it equals to 84. It's C19, 84. We have to look for that number because that's explaining Pluto. This is next year. This is our cycle next year. This is when 5784 comes in, and that is it is your gateway in the sun. Your 5 and 4 is your sun, and what's happening is Q, your gateway, and the gateway Q is where Earth is. It's Earth's heart, played between numbers 4 and 5. Remember, there's an expression in French that's okay, and the cats always, most of the cats are afraid to go into the water. They're afraid to sink. The 4 says cat in French. The 5 says sank. It means to sink. Now, when the cat sinks, the cats are independent. They're electronic, the black cat. But when it sinks, in the matrix, it went backwards and then it went forward again. So do you know what happened when the cat sinks? What happens when you sync your phone to the computer? What happens when you sync things? I'm not talking about washing the dishes, or maybe I am, because we can't let anything go. Everything means something. This is like the game we are in is to read the word. It's like, for me, it's just so fantastic, it's just unbelievable if this is the truth. So what are we looking for? It's all about DC, Roman numerals. I'm thirsty again. I did mention the District of Columbia, DC. That is where the Sky Gate is, DC. It's all about DC. Next year, we reach the end of a standard cycle in the year, Hebrew year 5784. In 5784, in a standard cycle, which means ABC cycle, ABC 5, you can say ABC 2, but you're not. You're in the E world. You're not in the B world. You're in the hive. You're in the hive of the E world. So that's a plug-in, because 5 and 2 is a plug-in. It's Jack. Jack plugs in, number 25. Jack plugs into Q. What is Q? Electricity. Q is electricity. It's the flow between 1 and 7. Nothing goes from 1 to 7. Through 2, 4, 6, 8 flows 1 through 7, through the gate, the dam, the locks, flowing through. What is it? Is it water? Is it energy? What is it flowing? What's flowing? Do you know that the wolf flows? The wolf, the fox. The wolf is also part of the student of Mars. So if it flows, the wolf flows. The wolf wanted to blow down of the 3 little pigs. All the pigs are this on the dice. So if you bumped into the 3 little pigs, then you would be bumping into, right? If you bumped into the 3 little pigs, hold on a second. When you bump into the 3 little pigs, you bump into 666, and here come the 3 little pigs. $111. In 2001, which is a representation in September of the gateway of the birth inside the moon. In September, which is the 9th month, known as the 7th gate, because it starts off with the number 7, which is also the word 103, telling me about Yo, telling me about Earth and Mars, calling of 7-11, calling of the gateway of DC, calling of the gateway of Earth, calling of the gateway of the sweet 16 of 88. 8 plus 8 equals to 16. 88 coming together, 88, purple. The 4 ball and the 12 ball. Imagine 1 and 2 come together in one ball. It's in the purple ball. 1 and 2 is 3, 4 and 3, boom, boom. 1 is a stripe, 1 is a solid. Both the same color. Purple. Number 88, Pegasus, NGC 7286. Look for it. NGC 7286. Look for it. 88. 8 times 8, 8 plus 8, 64, which will create DC, and 16, which will create the gateway in 6. I'm losing the trend of thought. I need to drink something. I'm really losing my trend of thought where I was. Yes, I was on 111. So yes, the Twin Towers was 110, 11, 11, if you want to look at it that way. 2 and 2, meaning life. The 22nd letters for V in the E world. That is the reverse of love, of revolution. That is inside the word. The velo, the 2 through 18. Are we on the drives? 666, running around the ring. 333, the ring running around the pole. 3 parts or 4 parts, in 90 or in 120. Where should we be in 90? If we're in 90, we're chopped up and away from one section. But if we're in 120, the wall to the left or the wall to the right will be all the walls and no divisions. But once you run into a square, you now have a division of a wall you can never get to, and it will be a polarity. At the same time, it'll be your love. It'll be your in-between space. But with 3, it's always love. One between 3. And the only one that is 4 is I am the pole to the floor that holds the other 3 walls. 3 and 4 is the way they should go. The triangle, the teepee. 3 sticks and 1 floor connecting to 3 with 1 point, all tied up together in their own direction. What else about 3 and 4? 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 will create 12 and 7, 19. I want to show you this. Let me get something to drink. I'm going to come back and talk about that, or ask me a question. I'm getting off the subject. There really never is a subject. Just build these little pieces of art. And so next year, let me finish this before I get the drink. I think I said this 10 times. Next year, coming this September, is the Hebrew year 5783 ending cycle. What we celebrate as a beginning is actually an end. So come this October, in the month of Tishrei, like my little guy in the back over there. So in the month of Tishrei, okay, we will be beginning the cycle of the gateway. Time has moved up They misread time. They misread time. It has been 60 years since the creation of the light, 1963, in which 75 years before was 1888 and 1,000 years before was 888. Look something up about, let me see, 1,000 years. Let me see this. Jean Dixon, the devil was in prison for 1,000 years. Let me see this. Jean Dixon Library. Let me see this. Devil songs, billboards. Let me see if I can find this little piece here. Let me see if I can share. Can I share this piece with you? Copy. Just give me a second. Let me share this piece with you. Let me see it myself. When Jean Dixon, let me see if I can make this bigger. Like Alice in Wonderland. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, big. So let's look at this. When Jean Dixon was a child, the gypsy recognizing, okay, you can barely see it, eh? Well, I shared it with you. Past predictions wrong. She predicted Richard Nixon would appoint 5 new Supreme Court justices. So I wish I can show you this. Okay. She said that Nixon would not be disgraced by Watergate. Dixon was wrong. She stated that in 1975 there would be an internal upheaval in the U.S. involving rioting, sabotage, controlled by opposing forces, who's confident because of their success here would be a move in South Asia. She predicted that Howard Hughes would become involved in a medical psychological good works. Instead, he died in 76. Right, in 1945, only a few months before Franklin Delano Roosevelt's death, she told him that he didn't have long to live. In 1945, she told Winston Churchill that he wouldn't win the general election in English, but he came back into power at a later time, years after his defeat. He was reelected. She predicted in 1947. So let me just go on. Well, anyways, I can't find the piece. If I found the piece, I'm going to tell you what she predicted. So let me just see Jean Dixon news Vine. Just 1 second. Let me just see this. Hold on, and maybe you'll look at the sky for a second. I'm looking for something. Let me see if I can find the right thing. Okay, let me tell you what Jean Dixon said. This is what Jean Dixon said. Jean Dixon said that in 888, the devil was locked up for 1,000 years until 1888. And then in 1888, he had the number to the beast, or to the moon. He had 75 years. 75 is a representation, 5775, which is 3 by 19, C19, or 3 by 25, C25, C7, the cube. 5775. Did I get that right? 19 and 25. 5775. And it is that 5775, which is the spirit of man and earth, equaling to area space 44, created only by what is Pluto. Pluto's creation from its numeric values is 44, dividing a day and night, which is made up of of the moon's rotation in DC through the gateways of 7, through the 7th gate, which is running of the 13 cards. It's between this here and this here. In this area, it's a G. In this area, it's a T. T and G do the same work. Under T is F and H. S and H come together. Boom. Over. Sorry, this is not really H. This is not S. I switched it over. Hold on a second. N O P Q R. Okay, it's E and R come together in this one. E and R come together. It's funny. It's not AR. It's ER. And the reason what I did in this one is normally you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I decided to go 1, 3, 5, 7. And the 1, 3, 5, 7 is where the one dot is on the dice cube. 1, 3, 5. So I use the 2, 4, 6, 8 as the in-between ribs, the same way as the odd numbers or the houses on the opposite side of the street. I tried to use the tools and the rules that usually we run in North America. You have to share it. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired. I'm going to see if anybody said anything in Facebook to me. No, there hasn't been anybody here at all. Okay, so that's not good, but it's good at the same time. I'm getting a little bit tired, a little bit hungry. It's 11 o'clock, so I just want to say thank you for watching. God is with us. I couldn't know what I know or what I believe to know if God wasn't with us. Thank you for watching this video. Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. No, God is with us. Take the side of Venus, 18 wheelers with a 5th wheel in the back. He is coming, and he, why do I say he? I don't like to do that. Just want to tell you that the right side is the side of logic. Logic. Think logically. Think logically. You know what? Boost your ego and think logically. And take the side of the logical, rational thinker, because the money has no value without having your mind. Remember, your mind, your business is everything. Thank you for watching.